Hi guys.
Hey, Hamad.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, folks.
Good afternoon, Daryl.
Ron.
We'll talk amongst ourselves here for 5 minutes and let everybody have a chance to jump on. I've got one thing I need to check, so you guys talk amongst yourselves while I do that real quick.
All right.
Carol, that was a good meetup yesterday.
Oh man, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still waiting to hear back from Kimra. She's become very busy, very busy. So, I want to continue to use Kimra, but
You've
but
used her before. She's your
oh
manager?
yeah. Before, see, I met Kimra when she was making the transition from her previous firm to her starting her business. So so yeah, I've known Kimra for a while, but as of course as as time goes by, everyone grows.
Yeah, she gets busy, right?
And everyone gets busy.
Yeah.
And I've sent over a couple of deals, and it's just taken a long time and to get back with me. But I spoke with her yesterday. Hopefully she'll get back with me soon. James, when you're sending out letters or information to your investors, what kind of what's the premise of the letter?
Well, it's just I'm kind of just a kind of a testing the waters type of a greeting, just to see what their interest is, and just to get them familiar with me right now, get them familiar with my company and what we're doing, what our goals are, and just to see where their goals are and how we can align. I have a couple of had a couple of responses, a couple of inquiries via my website that I followed up with, and we're setting up a couple of calls. So it's just kind of discovery and see where to let them know where we're at, and find out what their goals are, and if they want to be passive or they want to be part of the deal. So I'm in a feeling out stage right now. So got a few people that I'm trying to work with.
Right. So I'm doing that, right? I'm sending out the letters like that. Like you say, filling them out. But I have a lot of investors that's hard to, I don't know, it's like difficult trying to get them to respond.
Yeah, I know the feeling.
You know?
How many follow-ups have you done?
Let me see. Hold on a second, because I do a lot of information. So to give an exact, I'm gonna have to say I follow up at least I would say once a week.
What are you following up with, Daryl?
Trying to get them to schedule a conversation with me. See, a lot of the information I grab early on, right? So if you're coming into my page, or if you're coming, however you're meeting me, whether it's on LinkedIn, Facebook, there's certain things I want to know, and such as what made you want to connect with me, right? And
So
and
let me ask you a question. So people, for me, the approach I'm taking is, and the sales roles I've had in the past, I want to stay away from being the pushy salesperson, right? If someone comes to me, I'll give them all the information they want.
Right.
And, a lot of times people said, okay, you know what, we need to go back and think about it. And let me tell you, majority of the time they came back to me.
Okay.
Right. So that's kind of the approach I'm still taking is, give,
Yeah.
throw options in there to connect with me. But even with that messaging, I'm not saying you have to talk to me. I'm like, if you want, or you want a free consultation, or you want to talk about your strategy, you can schedule a conversation with me. Right. So I'm not going out there pushing them to connect with me. I'm letting them connect with me when they want. Right.
Gotcha.
So it's just, if you think about today's day and age, everyone's just pushing you for stuff, right? So if you're there in front of them more often
Hmm.
and build that trust and and I think they'll connect with you automatically, right? Again, that's the approach I'm taking to it, and maybe it'll change in the future. I don't have it as a Bible that it has to be done this way, but that's my approach. It's worked well for me in the past.
Okay.
I get put off by salespeople when I get pushed to connect now, do this now, do this now. It just seems like everyone's just bombarding everyone now with connecting and a sales pitch.
Yeah, I can understand that, but and that's the reason why I don't go to them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I haven't my database. I have not reached out to them.
Yeah.
What they have done is reached out to me. So once you knock on my door and I open that door to say hello, how may I help you?
I would just say just simply connecting on Facebook or LinkedIn for me isn't enough. I would definitely message them and say, hey, thanks for connecting. What interested you in connecting with me?
I do
But
that.
I would leave it at that, right? If you start pushing by, say, hey, schedule a call, then it becomes pushy. If you just leave it at that, maybe like a few weeks later, a month later, say, hey, I don't know if you read my message or not. I'd love to chat if you're still open to it, and just leave it at that, right?
Gotcha.
Don't push them, because then even if they got busy or forgot about it the first time, they come back to it in a month and say, hey, you're just sending a reminder. You're not being pushy. So maybe they'll schedule it the next time, and then just keep providing information, right?
Right.
So that's my goal. I just sat down a couple of days ago and built up my list. So I have 926 unique names. That's what I've put together from different conferences and everything.
Right.
Now I need to figure out what to do. If you guys have other opinions, please let me know, because this is just kind of what I have in my mind for strategy right now is, because originally I was thinking, do I consider them just cold? Do I consider them warm? So what I'm doing is I will put them on my investor list.
Right.
In the initial email, I'll send them this current, like I did one for March, April, a kind of current economic environment. I put that together. I'll just do like an intro, say, hey, because I have for everyone, I did put in there which conference or where I met them. So I'll just say, follow up from BC conference, for example. Say, hey, it's been a little while. I've been working on this, so I finally, I can announce that I'm launching my website. Here's a free, report that I've put together. I'd love for you to take a look at it and read it.
Right.
And maybe at the bottom, I'll say, if you want to schedule connect again, schedule a time. But I'm going to leave it at that, I think. And then every month or every couple of weeks, I'll send them something new.
Okay.
And the goal is, first is to drive them to my website, look at some of the other content and everything that's there. And eventually them set up a time to connect with me. And then with that, once they set up a time and connect with me, I can move them to kind of like my hot investor list, just to be compliant with SEC and everything. So that's kind of what I'm thinking right now, how to approach it.
These are connections that you've just met through different Zoom calls,
Yeah, through
connections, right?
I would say a lot of the Zoom calls I hadn't even gone through because I have like recordings and snapshots of those. I don't have time to go through and find them on LinkedIn and everything. So I probably have even more than that. This was just so one thing that I do every time I go to a conference or anything, I'll create a, contact list on my shared drive, and I'll throw it out there. I'll say, "Hey guys, I put this together. Let's connect." And a lot of times people want to connect, and they'll put their information in. So I've built, a long list from that, from every single seminar that I've been to. I've done that. Like even like I'll go to like what you call. I was on Brad Summerrocks. I got booted after first like 20 minutes after I messaged saying here's a contact list, but I was still able to get like 40 people off of that. Right. So it's some conferences I've put together like 160 people. So I'll just go to a conference, and a lot of times I won't even attend the conference. I'll have it running in my like office, and I'll every once in a while go to my office, put in the chat to share your contact on the shared drive. Right. So that's how I've built my list, and all these people are already in real estate or something to do with multifamily, which is why I decided to put them on my like warm list rather than because the other thing I could do is consider them cold and just send them one email and hope they go to my website and get warm. But since they're already in real estate, maybe they won't do that. So I'll leave them on my warm one. And that way, every month I'll send them an email unless they opt out. Then we'll see, and I'll track like who's reading the emails and who's not, and I'll clean up the list accordingly. But I'm just, the way I've set it up is making sure I'm not pushing them to set up a time with me so they can build that trust over time.
Gotcha. Hamad, when you get a chance, would you email me your website?
Yeah, I can put it in the chat now. And just one note, Jim, I have control over everything about recording and who to let in and everything. So I don't know if
I gave you that so that people could be allowed in while I was working on something in the background.
I just want to check also. I had these things popping up. I'm like, I have control. That's fine.
You have the com.
Ahmad, you're the second person who's I've heard that got booted off of Brad Sumrock call for putting their contact information in there.
Yeah. So a lot of these gurus do not want you.
Yeah.
You know, they look at everyone on that call as belonging to them.
Yeah, David did that as well.
They're not interested in you sharing contact information. You know, remember I tell the story all the time about every time I went back to one of them, my number one thing was, hey, I have a deal. Will you share your list with me? Nope, will not do it. And it doesn't matter if it's your first day in a conference or if you've been in the program with them for 5 years. I'm not going to share that list with you.
Yeah. I might, you know what, to be honest, I might even at some point join if my investor list is long enough and I'm desperate to get more deals. I might even join this club just to say I'm capital raising. I can help you guys so I can get that. So
you don't need to do that, Hamad. And they have contracts. You'll have to sign a contract saying that you won't do any deals with anybody outside of the program.
Okay,
that you can't be on the GP team unless you pay for the personal mentoring at 30 grand.
Yeah.
And also that you won't take deals outside of the group.
All right, yeah, I won't be joining then.
Yeah. So most people don't read the fine print on any of those contracts. They're so excited about trying to get a deal done that they just sign the contracts and join. And so, and I'll tell you that everybody that's in that program, you'll meet them somewhere else, somewhere along the line. They're on Facebook, they're on LinkedIn. Just keep connecting. I mean, it didn't take me any time to reach my 5,000 friend limit. When I got determined to add anyone related to real estate, I reached my 5,000 limit, like, boom. It was like, and then I stopped trying because it was like, okay, I created a public page, and the public page, I don't even visit it. I don't know how many people are on it. I don't know anything about it. It's only there. So now I'm not actively trying to gain more people. It's just there in case somebody still wants to kind of connect with me somehow. One of these days when I've got more time on my hands, I'll probably go back to it. But until I really start working the list that I already have, then it doesn't even make sense to keep building the list, because the reality is you only need probably 100 good investors in your database. That's all you need. And it's going to be difficult for you to control very many more than that, to be honest with you. So you'll turn in, if you get to that point, you'll be a well-oiled machine, able to take down a lot of deals. So if you've got a list that's big, ask yourself, how many of those people can I talk to? If I have 1,000 people, how many of them can I talk to so that I talk to them at least 4 times a year? How many phone calls do I have to make?
That's my biggest concern right now. Do you have to talk to them 4 times a year?
You don't have to. If you look at somebody like Andrew, you took Adam Gower's program, didn't you, Haman?
Yeah, the website one.
Yeah. So his whole idea is he really doesn't talk to people, doesn't really want to talk to people. He wants to do everything automated, and you absolutely most definitely can do it that way, but you still have to touch them at minimum. At minimum, I would say if you're not physically talking to them, you have to touch them at least every month, I would say. And you've got to get them to open something from you every month. So if you're finding out they're not opening your emails, you may need to up it to once a week just to get them to open one of the 4 once a month. And you better darn well have something interesting in there, or else after 2 or 3, they're just going to stop opening your emails.
So that's where I have once a month at least for now. I'm trying to figure out what else I can add to make it at least twice a month. Once a week is going to be tough. I don't have the time for that to build.
Well, that's
brand.
It's really about automation. If you're trying to do that high level, it's all about automation. It's impossible for you to do it by hand, physically.
Exactly. So that's my goal. Like I have a list of 926. I'll start tracking them once I send it out. See, who's opening it, who's not opening it, and who's responding, who's not, and then go accordingly. My hope is, since everyone is in real estate, they'll at least go take a look.
Well, I wouldn't count on that.
No, but at least I would say at least 10%. My target.
Yeah, I think that the hardest thing is, how do you stand out in a crowd? So I've got 50, 60, 70, 100, 200, 300. I don't know how many that I've signed up for over the years, and so I just it's so overwhelming that I rarely open any of them anymore. And so it really takes something special to stand out to me in that headline. And but I'm probably not normal. I'm probably not the normal investor that you're looking for. But you want to keep that in the back of your mind is, okay, how do I make mine stand out? How do I make it unique? But if most of the people you're reaching out to are relatively new investors, it'll be a lot easier.
Yeah. So one question. Again, I think there's a whole mix in that list. My approach was going to be simply, follow up from whatever conference. My expectation is, with that headline, people at least assume or think that we connected in some manner there. So there should be higher chances of opening it rather than just saying, here's a free economic report or something like that.
I like that. That's an approach actually that would definitely work on me, because as far as I'm concerned, when I see that headline, you're somebody brand new I've never talked to, and you mentioned the word conference. I know every conference I've been to, and they're all related to real estate, and I want to get to know you. So that would definitely cause me to open the email. I think that one's brilliant. That's a great example of having a catchy headline.
Either they'll think with what you're saying, or they'll assume that, and so, to be fair, some of them I did talk to one-on-one as well, or in a group setting. So my expectation is they'll think, oh, we had a conversation or something, so they'll open it, at least see what it is, and then, again, add value. If you go to my website, I have, like, in the education section, the economic report, and that's the one I'm going to send to start off.
Okay.
That's why I'm always going to the toilet.
Okay, I'll come in a little bit. Okay.
So Hamad, are you going to send that to pretty much blanket your entire list? And if so, what is the content? Once they open it, what are you going to say in the content to kind of cover all your bases?
Yeah.
You didn't meet at the conference.
Yeah, so that's something I'm still trying to figure out what the content's going to be, but just high level, it's just going to be around, it's been a little while since we connected at this conference. I've been very busy. I was working on my website and some content, which I want to share with you, do a special report that I've been working on. And then that's kind of what I'm thinking. And I'll attach the link to that report as well. And link to like my website and everything, so they can go check out the website and that.
Yeah, I like that. I think first thought that comes to my mind is I've attended 6 conferences this year. I'm pretty sure that we met at one of them. And I apologize for not getting in touch sooner, but I've been so busy, and then all the stuff that you said, and I really would love to stay in touch and reconnect.
Well, the good thing is I did keep track of which conference, right? So that's going to be my heading with each one is going to be, follow up from this conference. It's going to be the heading and the email as well. So.
Yeah, that's even better, because now you've already got the information. You're segregating the information by the conference.
Yeah.
So, but I like that so much. I would use it even if I had no idea where we met.
Yeah.
And I would cover my ass by saying, I can't remember if we met at one of these conferences, but I think we did. And then just dump right into whatever I want to tell them.
Right.
So, but I would use that until the open rates start to drop, and then try to find a new one.
Hamad, what about people who might reach out to you via your website, like request more information?
I have my Calendly hooked up to it and everything, so they can schedule an appointment.
Yeah.
Directly through Calendly.
So when you like I have on mine, it says, would you like to set up a call to discuss your investment goals? And if they click yes, then they submit the form and I get the notification. Then I follow up with them. Do you have it where you go straight to your Calendly link?
I'll share my screen. Give me a second.
Do they have the option of clicking no, Jim?
They do, yes, and they still
What
submit
happens
it.
if they click no?
Then I see it, when the submission gets to my email, which is pretty much immediately, I'll see that they listed their criteria, but they do not request a follow-up call.
And what do you do with them?
I haven't experienced that yet, knock on wood, but I'm not sure. I guess maybe I'll just send them some information, and if you'd like to set up a call, if you'd like to discuss further, feel free to reach out.
Well, I've tried to make it easier than that. I'm not asking them to fill out a lot of detail when they press button. So 2 things I have. At the very beginning, I just have this join the investor club, so they can put their first name, last name, and email. And then when I email them, I'll say, let's set up a conversation, schedule a time so we can review, your interests, what you're looking for and everything. And once I have a conversation with them, then I can move them on to like my actual investor list. Right. Like just having this doesn't mean they're going to be on the investor club. I'll have them, and I'll say that in the email. I'll say once we have a conversation and, discuss your needs and your investor profile, then I can put you on the investor club. Until then, I can't share any pertinent information with you. And then the next thing I have, so if you go all the way to the bottom, and this is something I was talking to Daryl about, it's not about pushing them to have a conversation with you, right? It's providing as much value as possible. So all the links I have before are all to do with my, series of 6 books in investing and how to invest in syndications and real estate. If you go to the bottom, if someone's taking the time to go through the entire page all the way to the bottom, then I have, if you have any unanswered questions about investing in commercial real estate, set up a quick 15-minute question answer session than just a schedule now. And then it just takes it straight
Right,
to my Calendly link, and then they can set up a time and we can discuss. And then once they, so for this one, if they're scheduling it this way, I'll just have a quick question answer session. On the other pages, I have, like for the strategy one, I have a 30-minute consultation. So if I get a schedule for this, I'll send them email, say, fill out this questionnaire so we can have a better conversation around what your investing strategy is. Once I have that conversation with them, see how that conversation goes, and then I can put them on the investor list as well. But all the, scheduling a time with me for each one, all the pages is always at the bottom.
Gotcha.
Because I'm not trying to push them right off the bat. Even this Learn More is this ebook, and I was having a conversation with somebody and they said get rid of that as well, because you want them to build the trust with you before you start. Even if it's a lead magnet that you're offering, they don't know anything about it yet, and they're not necessarily going to want to do that, and they might get thrown off it. And I have it here on the site as well, so it's always there as they scroll down. So I'm going to be removing this to like just a scroll down button or something, so it just takes them to the next frame.
Cool. Looks good, man.
Get someone on. I found someone on Fiverr, and he's charging like $400 to set up everything on ActiveCampaign and manage it for a month, which I think is fair, because that will kind of help me make sure all these people are properly integrated, and he'll manage it for a month as well. So hopefully that should give me enough time to get this going and start managing it myself afterwards.
So when you say set it up on ActiveCampaign,
So he'll do like he does he'll have a conversation with me first. We'll do like a strategy on how I want, and he's a ActiveCampaign consultant as well. So he's been doing this for a while. Really good review. So fingers crossed. He is.
So he'll be able to help guide you as far as, okay, if this, then that.
He'll do everything.
Kind of strategy.
Yeah.
So okay.
So he has over 100 reviews. So my goal is he's done it enough time where if I'm not thinking of something, he'll know about it and recommend.
And is his ongoing rate still at 400, or does it go down after the first month?
That I don't know, because I'm not planning on keeping him after that. I can ask him. It's a good point, but.
So I don't know how long Daryl's going to be. So I wanted to, Daryl was asking some really good questions, and I wanted to answer that in a particular way. But he can always come back and look at the recording. So I think Daryl, if I could help me guys remember what it was specifically he wanted to know. I think it was, once somebody reaches out to you, kind of what's the next step? What are you doing next?
How is he following up?
How are you following up? And Hamad's response was, don't be pushy, don't try to sell, which 1000% I agree with. So my question is, if you were meeting somebody, let's just say for the sake of argument, you're at a picnic or you're at the bar having a beer, whatever, and they said something to you about that interested you, how would you proceed with the conversation? So if you're both in real estate, I would say you have an inclination that they're in real estate, but you don't know if they're active or they're passive. You don't know if they're in commercial or residential. You don't know very, very much at all. And so what's the first question you would ask them? What's the follow-up question you would ask them? You're just at a bar having a conversation. So, I would probably, for me, start it off with something very, very simple, like, hey, Krellin, you said you were in real estate. could you describe what that is? You know, tell me, how are you involved in real estate? You know, what position? Are you an investor, an owner? What does that look like? And just wait for the response. So I think that's exactly the way I would respond to people, whether it's in person or whether it's in an email. Ask a simple question and wait for the response. And if you don't know what to ask, just pretend you're in that bar situation. Pretend you're just having a beer with with somebody that you've just met and you're enjoying conversation. Now, is that a planned, detailed pitch deck strategy? No, it's not, but it gives you a path forward. And in my opinion, that's the more casual, the simpler that you can keep it. I think you can't look at this as something that it's a hurry up game. You need to look at it as if it's going to take you a 6-month conversation with this person before you get to the point of being able to ask them for money. And if you take that attitude that it's going to take 6 months, you're going to have people ask you right away after a second or third conversation, hey, do you have an investment? Could I invest with you now? But as long as you've got the attitude that it's going to take 6 months of follow-up and you're going to need to ask, 12 questions before you can potentially ask for money. And what would those questions be? And then play that out in your own head or role play with someone. Okay, if I ask this question, here's the 4 different answers I got back. What would be my next question then, based upon if it was answer A or answer B or answer C? And that is more or less the click funnel that you want to create and the kind of thing you would put into your active campaign. This 4-letter sequence or 10-letter sequence or whatever that looks like. So I think a lot of people are struggling with that. Just write out those kind of question and answers to yourself. And when you have those, you can literally just put them on a spreadsheet and say, okay, here's question 1. Depending on what I get, here's question 2. Depending on what I get, here's question 3. And that becomes part of your database. So you have a name. What's the very first thing you want to know? Not whether or not they can invest. What's their email address? What's the next thing you want to know? Not how much they have to invest. It's what's their phone number. So make sure that you're getting the questions in the right order and just start putting those as pieces on your database.
I think if you come in with how much do you want, are you wanting to invest too early, you might scare them away.
Yeah, you're done.
Yeah.
You're probably done forever.
Yeah.
Unless you already know the person,
Yeah.
they've got a lot of money, they invest.
Right.
I mean, if you've got, for the sake of argument, 20 questions for somebody you've never met before, and you don't know what it's going to take to actually get to what you want to know, let's just say for the sake of argument, it's 20 questions. You're going to have some people by the second question, you're going to jump straight to 20. You're going to have other people that you can jump to 10. So if you meet somebody at a conference, at a real estate conference, you don't need to know question 3, which is, are you an investor? Because if a person's not an investor, never invested in anything, what's the chances you're going to get them to put 20 grand or 50 grand into your deal? So that might be question 3. But if you meet them at a conference about multifamily real estate, you don't need to ask them, are you a real estate investor? Do you invest in multifamily? So you can jump straight to question number 10. But you still got to get 1, 2, and 3, name, email, and phone number. So you got to get those 3 before you can jump up to, okay, I know you're an investor. I know you like real estate. I know you like multifamily. But you've got to get those answers into a database. You can't be like, this is the old fatherly advice. You can't do like I do. You got to do like I say. I'm very seat of the pants. You guys know that. I really like to just a conversation off the cuff. I hate structured pitches. But the reality is I'm going to forget things. And if I don't have it written down in a database, I really don't know where I am in the process. So having those questions written down into your database kind of just keeps you focused. And it also lets you know where you are with every single person in your database. How much do you really know about them? Do you know when their anniversary is? Do you know when their birthday is? So there's like 4 to 6 easy contacts with every single person in your database. So you've got their birthday, their anniversary, their wife's birthday. If you know any of their kids, the kids' birthdays, so it's easy. And those are relatively easy things to find out about a lot of people because they'll be listed on their LinkedIn profile, they'll be listed on their Facebook profile. And if you're spending a little bit of time, even if it's only 5 minutes before you get on a phone call with someone, if you have 5 minutes to review their Facebook or Instagram account so that you can try to find one little something that's happened in the last 60 days with them. Hey, I seen that your kid hit the home run. That must have given you a thrill. Did you get a picture of it? Just some little something that's personal. So Hamad, I cut you off before you had to. Hopefully you still remember what you were going to say, the points you were going to make.
Sorry, I was just talking about what Daryl was asking because his question was people have approached him already. And now that he's getting back to them on, having a conversation, they're not responding.
That was it. Yeah, they're not responding. So I think I covered that a little bit, didn't I? I don't respond to hardly any of mine. And I think that you've got to have something catchy to get them to open, to get them to respond further. So just because they said, yes, I'm an investor, yes, I have money to invest, yes, I'm accredited. So I opened the door, I told you quite a bit about me, but that doesn't mean I'm going to then automatically start opening your pitches, your pitch decks. You're gonna need something more to get me to open that. And I would go right back to what Hamad said on the very first statement, which is you can't ask for the money. You can't, you've got to be giving. You've got to be, keep everything conversational. Now there's going to be times where you have no choice, hey, but if you've got to ask for money without a lot of politeness because you're closing in 3 days and you're 300,000 short, you don't have time for a lot of conversation. So, I mean, that's kind of worst case scenario. I would encourage you not to get in those positions. Don't get into things. If you have the option, give yourself 6 months to start to build the relationship. But if you don't have the option, you found a deal, you're in the deal, you've got to close. You need to find a nice, polite, comfortable conversation to get to the ask as soon as possible. And so, it really depends on how much you already know about that person. So if you know a lot, if they have the money, they've invested in deals already, and that they know you. They may not know you well, but they at least know you enough that they, if you call them, they're gonna recognize who you are. If you may have to remind them, hey, we met at a conference 3 months ago. And I'm reaching out because we have an opportunity on the table right now. Don't know if it's a good one for you or not, but I did want to at least give you an opportunity to invest if you have an interest, or if you just have an interest in learning more. So that's a very non-committal, non-pressure way to reach out very quickly and get to the selling proposition. You want to have that kind of soft push. You want to push, you want to ask for the sale, but you want to do it in a backhanded way, in a very nice, polite way.
Jim, is that the same approach that you would take for, let's say, like your coworkers, or like they're like kind of in the warm market, but then you don't necessarily know them like very well personally per se?
So I'll always fall back on the strategy that you guys hear me say it over and over and over again. Every conversation that you have for the rest of your life needs to have real estate built into it somehow. And you need to be super excited about it. So, you can't be consumed by real estate unless you consume real estate. You know, if you're watching 4 hours of Netflix, Game of Thrones, that's going to be what you want to talk about in the coffee line at the water cooler. But if you're consuming 4 hours of wealth management, real estate news, you know, those kind of things, you're going to be reading and be excited about things related to your business. So you may, at the coffee shop, have read some article. I don't know specifically. I'm right now, I don't want to pick something specific, but if you're consumed by that information, you want to try to work that into the conversation. So a lot of people think, well, you can't do that, not in a coffee shop, not at the grocery store checkout line. But I will beg to differ. I will challenge you to try to do this as a game. Practice on people that you've never met before and see if you can get them to talk to you. Even if you don't get their name, email, phone number, just take it as a challenge in really weird places to see if you can get someone to talk to you and bring real estate into the conversation without it seeming weird.
Can I ask you a question? Anybody who's would have an opinion on this? So I personally don't have any assets yet, and I'm working on it, of course. So if I'm engaging in a conversation with somebody, and they say, "Well, what kind of real estate, do you have? Do you own?" And my response will be, "Well, I don't currently have any assets. However, I've been trying to develop a way to." Say that I don't have assets and still sound credible and still sound, like I'm in the real estate business. You know what I'm trying to say? Any suggestions? Anybody's situation? We'd love to hear it.
I'll let you guys answer that.
I would leverage what you have. I mean, I would say, hey, if Jim is, he's in hundreds of doors, and say, hey, part of my team here, Jim Biggs, he's experienced syndicator, and he's got multiple properties, knows what he's doing, and he's on my team. Same thing with Julie, if you're working with her on the debt side. So you can spend it a certain way, even though you don't have any doors yourself.
Just referencing the team that I'm involved with. Yeah, it makes sense.
That seems to be consistent with what I've heard too. It's just kind of pitching the people that you've surrounded yourself with and their experience, if you don't have any of your own.
So here's another way I would answer that, Jim. I can't keep my mouth shut. I'm really glad that you asked me that, Jim. And, we've actually put together a credibility package talking about our team. And I'm one of the newest members of the team. And I'd love to share that with you. And if it's in conversation, then you can talk about, here's the different pieces of our team. I'm kind of, I recently joined the team, and I'm in the acquisitions part. It's my job to go out and meet people like you and try to find a deal. Or it's I'm on the capital raise side of the team, and it's my job to meet with people like you and find out what your investment criteria is. Or always not just well, here's my team, but don't be afraid to say, hey, yeah, I'm really excited you asked me that.
Yeah.
And I don't do this by myself. We're part of a team, and here's my team. But you practice it again with people that don't matter until you get really comfortable in your own skin talking about it.
And you can spend it in a positive way too.
Yeah.
I mean, let's say you're working with a realtor who's got, a couple hundred clients. They're not going to be able to devote as much time to you specifically, but somebody starting out, they're hungry and they're wanting to build that relationship with each individual investor. So, yeah. Hey, investor X, I have this much time to devote to you. We can go through whatever you want, answer whatever questions you have. And I'm looking for deals now too. and I'm super hungry because this is the first one that I'm looking at too.
Yeah, and that's a great point, Patrick. Know your audience, because you can't just use a blanket statement for everyone. You need to know, what's in it for them. So if they are a brand new broker and they're just getting started, they're in the same boat you are, and you can leverage that. Hey, let's grow together. But also, if you don't have a pitch deck, a credibility pitch deck, you need to have one. You need to have a pitch deck, just like you have a pitch deck for a property you're trying to sell. You need a pitch deck for the team you're trying to sell. And put that pitch deck together. It gives you something that you can say to everybody that you meet. Hey, I'm glad you asked me that. Can I send you, a quick bio on our team?
Good points, all good points. Thank you. We got a lot of work to do.
What about as far as like if you don't have a website built out yet, you don't have a CRM or anything of that type of sort. I mean, how do you go about making that initial contact and like kind of determining, the needs of the different potential investors that you want to kind of bring on board? Because, like I said before, in my particular situation, I'm looking at trying to, network with the coworkers that I have available, as well as, family and friends. And I know that you had mentioned working real estate into almost every conversation that we can, but as far as like managing those relationships moving forward, I mean, would you still open up a CRM and like contact them via email on those touch points, even though you may see them a little bit more frequently than someone you met at a conference or anything like that?
Yeah, I think if I had coworkers, in addition to always trying to talk about real estate, always have a visual prop. So I used to always have several copies of different real estate magazines or wealth magazines, things that I could always drop to leave an image in somebody's mind about what I was interested in, and always left it laying around accidentally on purpose so that it could be a silent salesman for me. And they not only knew what I was interested in, but maybe by picking it up and reading it, and when I came back the next day or late in the afternoon to say, oh, I forgot my magazine, maybe, they've already read it. Maybe I highlight with my highlighter when I read it the first time, things that I want them to really concentrate on. Okay. So those are all things that you can do. And I would definitely try to eventually have that conversation come around to, hey, this is something that I'm doing on the side so that I never have to depend on my employer. So if something, I love my job, but if something happened to me tomorrow and I lost my job, this is what I am doing to protect myself, but also to build generational wealth. I want to leave something behind so that, my kids never have to worry. My spouse would never have to worry. And that's why I'm doing this. And I'm educating myself on that. And I'm also educating myself on ways, to think like rich people think. Why do the rich pay a lot less in taxes than you and I? We're working our ass off. Why is it that the hospital administrator knows all of this information about how to pay almost nothing in taxes, but you and I don't know? And the difference is they hang out with different people. They talk about different things. And, if those, and I'm trying to educate myself on those things. If that's something you'd be interested in, I'd love to. I actually put out a monthly newsletter, where I send out a blurb every week to a list of people that are interested in the same thing. If you'd be interested in receiving it, I'll put you on my email list.
Yeah, Chris, one other thing that I've been thinking of to migrate sphere of influence onto my email list is just telling people that I've got a new business venture and asking them for feedback. I'd love to put you on my list so I can get your feedback on what I'm doing. And then that is actually soliciting them to engage the content.
I love that, Krillin. that's a good one. And I've used it also in the past that you know, hey, Carlin, you know me better than most other people. This new venture I'm on, I don't know if it's how it comes across to somebody who's never invested in real estate. Would you mind taking a look at it? Because I know I can count on your feedback.
That's a great point, Carlin. Yeah, thank you. What are you guys' thoughts on, so like as far as communicating with my personal sphere of influence, a lot of it is usually done through Facebook more so than other forms of social media. And I know with like, you know, if you have an actual investment, unless it's a 506c, that's not necessarily something at all that you're not even allowed to put up there. But like in terms of just raising capital before you even have an investment available, what are your guys' thoughts on saying like, hey guys, just making an announcement that, you know, I've officially gone live with, you know, this business that I'm running. This is it. Check out the website for more details if you're interested.
That's basically what I'm doing. I mean, I don't have a deal. I'm just, and you know, I. It's not that I couldn't get into a deal. I mean, Jim, you know about the one I'm not doing, but I rather have a good relationship to cover all my bases and my ask because I'm not worried about the long term. I know I'll do well, but that also means I don't want to rush into it without building the proper relationships and everything in place before I do that. So that's exactly what I'm doing. That's why I took my time to build all this list and my website. Now I can go to them and say, hey guys, you know, we talked about this. My, you know, everything's up live. Here's what I'm doing. Go check out my website. Love, you know, take a look. There's resources there and stuff like that. So that's kind of the approach I'm taking as well to build that relationship. So that way, in the future, when I have something come up, I can send a quick email to everyone.
I'll also say, Chris, in your situation, you're basically working around people that make a good living. So a very easy, casual conversation to have with people is, you know, hey, you know, I would try to ask everybody that I know, do you invest? Are you in the stock market? Yes or no? Are you investing in any other assets? Do you have any side hustles? You know, everybody out there, I would want to at least know that. You don't need to, I mean, that's an indirect way of asking and engaging and finding out real quickly. All right, I've got 100 people. I want to know if any of them are already investing in real estate and I don't even know about it, so that I can target them first. So, you know, right away, and you may, if I couldn't talk to them all in person as fast as I wanted to, I would say, hey, I'm doing a survey about lifestyle engagement or something. Can I send you a 3-question survey in the mail? And that might be an easy way to get their email address. Or if you'd rather have their cell phone number, can I send you a quick 3-question survey via text?
Yeah, definitely. I think, you know, right now things have kind of slowly been getting introduced in conversation to some of my colleagues, but, you know, it was mostly curious, yeah, as far as like how you go about continuing to do that with everyone, especially if like, you know, I'm still relatively new at this place too. So I don't want to just go in there and be like, hey guys, I'm the new guy. I also invest in real estate. Anyone want to join? You know, so it's kind of trying to.
Oh, but that's also an easy opening. You know, I'm new here, and come up with your 30-second elevator speech about who I am and what I like to do. You know, how many times when you're introducing yourself and trying to get to know someone, you want to give them a little color about what you like, what your passions, your hobbies are. So you just change that conversation. You know, I'm Jim Biggs. I'm from Chicago, originally from Tennessee, and I love hiking and I love anything outdoors, and I invest in real estate, and that's, you know, where I spend most of my free time is. I love traveling around looking for new deals.
What are your thoughts on like using a like sample deal package, or like maybe a previous deal that one of your partners has?
I'd rather that,
closed on?
Patrick. I don't like sample deal packages. I'd rather it be a real deal. It doesn't have to belong to you, but a real deal. Even I would like to have at least 2 deals in the back of my mind. And I want to try to know those deals well enough to talk to about them. So I'd like to know one deal that we've already closed so that I could talk about it to anybody, anywhere, anytime. The other is I want to know about a deal that's active that you might be able to invest in, even if it's not my deal. Even if it's not my deal. Because if I can talk to 3 or 4 or 5 investors and get them to say yes, then I can go back to the sponsor it is their deal, and then potentially get them to let me in on the deal, because now I've got some soft commitments. And even if they say no, hey, we only need 50 grand more, and there's no room to put anybody else on the team, I will tell you that if you get somebody ready to give you money, you better find a way to take the money. Even if you don't get any financial benefit from it, you've got to take the money, because they're going to give it to somebody. If you've convinced them they should invest in real estate and they say, yes, I'm ready, and you say, well, I don't have a deal, then they're going to go to the next guy and say, you know what, I just found out about this multifamily real estate thing. I'm really excited about it. I heard you have a deal. So you made the sale, but somebody else got the benefit. So at the very least, even if you don't benefit from it financially, build a relationship. You go to Krellin and say, Krellin, I know you've got this deal. Can I get in? I've got an investor who wants to invest 100 grand. Krellin says, hey, Patrick, I'm sorry, we're already full. We only need 50 grand. Say, hey, not a problem. Let me go back to my guy and see if he wants to invest, just 50 grand in your deal. And I want you to, if he, go back, your guy says yes, you connect him with Krellin and say, hey, Krellin, please keep me in mind on the next one. I'd like to get in earlier, when you still got room on the team. And who is Krellin going to ask to be on his team to raise capital next time? You, who just brought him 50 grand, or me, who never brought him anything? And also, hey, Krellin, by the way, I want to be the face of this investment deal to that partner. I don't want them, they don't know that I'm not on the team, okay? Or I'm not a paid member of the team, but I am on the team. I'm a free member of the team. So Krellin, when you have an update on the property, I know you send one out every month, I want to communicate that to my investor. Is that okay? Well, yeah, sure, that's okay. All right, then I'll let him invest. If Krellin says no, say, oh, well, okay, I'll find a different investor to let him invest with. So that way, you still get the benefit of the relationship with Krellin, and you get the benefit of hanging on to your investor because you are the face of that investment. And I would go so far as to say to other investors, yeah, I'm on a deal. Doesn't matter if you're paid or not, you're on the deal. Are you helping Krellin? Yes or no? Yes, you are. You're on the deal. Are you a member of the team? Hey, Krellin's sending you the information to communicate with the investor. Yep, you're on the team. You don't, even though you are not being paid, you're not benefiting from it, you are involved. And use that to your best advantage.
That's really good. Yeah. How far into the conversation, if you don't know somebody, like what, 2 or 3 conversations in, then maybe you would bring it up, hey, here's the previous deal that we've closed. Obviously you don't want to bring it up on the first or second conversation if it's somebody.
No, I am such a soft salesperson. If I don't have a deal that I'm actively raising money for, I will probably never ask for the sale. I'm just going to keep selling and selling and selling and selling until you say, Jesus Christ, Jim, would you please shut up? I'll give you my money already. Now, that's not everyone, but even if that's not you, there's 2 problems when asking for the sale. You don't ask for the sale, or you ask too soon. And I don't know that one is worse than the other. Either way, you're probably not going to get the sale. Obviously, if you never ask for it, well, that's not true, because if you never ask for it, as long as you're still selling, you still, until you stop, you still are going to get a yes if you keep going, eventually a yes or a no, a hard stop somewhere. But you also can sell past the sell, keep selling past the yes. And that's also that's if you're like me, the type who just wants to keep selling, that's what you really have to be cautionary and not continuing to sell once they already have said yes. Take the yes, be happy, and go home. But I think the third email or the third conversation is probably too soon, unless you're in that boat, that proverbial boat that we talked about, where, hey, look, now I'm in the middle of a raise. I don't have a choice. I have to ask. So I'll ask on the very first call if that's a situation, but I'll do it so gently and so backhanded that I give them every opportunity to say no to the situation without saying no to me. And when they say no, hey, no, this is not for me, I'd say, okay, great. And I'm going to stop selling right there for the deal. But then I'm going to try to close by saying, is it okay if I get another deal in the future to reach back out and present that one? Would you be interested in staying in touch? You always want to leave with, can I continue to stay in touch? Or also, and this one is very, very, very hard for most people. It's always been very hard for me, which is to ask for the referral. So somebody like you guys, I know every one of you know a lot of people that are in real estate. So why in the world wouldn't I ask you, hey, Chris, do you know somebody else who might be interested in hearing about the deal? Not somebody else who wants to invest, not somebody else who has money, or somebody else, just somebody else who'd be interested in hearing about the deal. Or do you know anyone else who would be interested in hearing about these types of deals in the future?
That's actually kind of the approach that I've been taking to some of my coworkers without putting them in on the spot too, is by saying, so, if, with that being said, if you know anyone in your network who may be interested in investing, have them reach out to me, or feel free.
And a lot of times they say, yeah, I would be.
Yeah.
It's a great question.
Hey, folks, I got to jump off to this time.
Hey, it's been an hour, so we all got to jump off. Thanks for the gentle reminder.
No,
all right, guys,
okay.
Unless there's something, anybody didn't get to ask a question they want to ask before we jump off?
Hey, Jim, I have something for you.
Okay.
You can stick around for a couple seconds.
Sure.
Okay, guys, talk to you soon.
Hey, Jim, where can I find a recording at? I just gotta go to the
when I'm the host and I'm doing the recording, I am just so far behind it. It's all on me, Aaron. So if I haven't sent it out or given a link to it, just give me a gentle nudge and keep reminding me until I get it done.
Okay. Yeah.
But I will right now, since you have me here, I'm going to go to my email and click Zoom, search for Zoom, and as soon as it pops up, hopefully I'll get it uploaded and that'll remind me.
Okay.
Okay. Anyone else?
No, it was a good conversation, Jim. It's giving me ideas for my platform.
Great.
Same here, guys. Thank you very much. Vinky, congratulations, by the way.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Yeah, congrats. That's great news.
Another deal, Vinky?
Clubhouse, GOB network.
Hey, Clubhouse. Aaron, did you find out? Because I haven't been on Slack this morning, but I've seen the pop-up messages that stay up for like 5 seconds that somebody said, no, it's not on Android yet. Did you find out if it is for sure on Android?
I don't think so. I think that was a different kind of app. That wasn't the Clubhouse official app right there.
Okay. But somebody said that it's coming very, very soon. So
it should be coming.
Yeah.
But yeah, please join the GOB network on Clubhouse. You got any questions, let me know.
When did you start the Clubhouse room?
We started Tuesday night.
Tuesday night? What time?
Sorry, Monday night. I'm sorry, Monday night. We started Monday night, so I'm administrative for it. But yeah, if somebody wants to join, just the app is up there. That you'll see the logo and everything. So just
Can you send me the invite or text me the link so I can join next time?
are you on Clubhouse?
Yeah, on Clubhouse. Yes, I am on Clubhouse.
Just link up with me. Just go to me and then look at my profile and look at my look at all my clubs I'm part of, and the GOB should be the first one because I'm the administrator of it.
Aaron,
You got the room. You got the room like on the ongoing basis, like. I don't understand because I think in the Clubhouse you can get a room after so many meetings if you have, so you can have like a room forever kind of thing. So did you do something like that?
We haven't started a room yet. Yeah. So if you're on there for 3 times, you can have your own room. So
right, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, but we haven't started a room yet. I just haven't found the time to really have it. I'll probably do it Friday or something like that. Start our first room, just say welcome GOB Network. It's a Clubhouse kind of room, and try to have. But we only have like 7 members right now so far of it. So
I would strongly encourage you guys to each of you try to help out with this. So if you want to set up something that's regular, the easiest way to make sure it always happens is every one of you kind of take ownership, and on this week I'm doing it, next week Hamad's doing it, the week after Vinky, you, then Keish, then Aaron, and then we start all over again. And you can host as often as you want to or as little as you want to, but if we can get more and more people to commit to say, look, I can't do it every week, but I know we already have 4 or 5 people. I think there's, Aaron, did I tell you how many people? I think 16 people that are on the Clubhouse channel on Slack. So we've got potentially at least 16 people that have shown enough interest in it that we could say, hey guys, I want to start every week on this day and time, but I know I'm not going to be able to be there all the time. Are you guys willing to help me out on the days that I can't be there?
Yeah, and Aaron, I mean, just to add to that, Jim, I think as long as somebody from GOB there is there, that's enough. We don't have to have one person running it the whole time, just based on the format of Clubhouse. So I think that's fine. And that's one of my challenges is I can't commit to it because I don't know what's going on with my kids. But I can try going to it, whenever I can, and I'm sure everyone will at some point. And I would just say, Aaron, just put a link up in the Slack as well, just for people that aren't in this meeting, and both in general and in the Clubhouse section. Sorry, I have to. I'll be back if you guys are still here.
Okay. Yeah. So I know absolutely nothing about Clubhouse. I don't have an Apple, so I can't even log on to figure it out. So is there a search feature where you can search for, do you have to search for your name, Aaron, or can you just search for GOB Network and it'll still find you?
You just search for GOB Network.
Okay. So as long as you can do that, everybody just in the Slack channel say, hey, search for the GOB Network. Did you announce it, Aaron?
I announced it on Daryl's, announced it on announced it last night on what's called channel.
Did you
I said the after party too. Slack? Yeah, I did announce it. Remember you told me that I had the remember the logo part? Remember I said I put the logo and
oh yeah. Let me find it so I can see if I can boost it up a little bit here.
And Vicky, I just added you on as a member, so
I think thank you for doing that. I added I joined as well. Thank you. But you can create a channel on the Slack for the Clubhouse too, maybe?
There's already one created, Vinky.
Okay, why don't I see it?
Do you want me to see if you're in it?
Yeah, because I do not have it under my chat.
I just added you to it.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else want me to add them?
I have an Android, so.
And also anybody I can switch to anybody to be administrator as well. I don't have to be the administrator of it all the time. Let's say I'm out incognito or something like that. I can always add somebody else to be the administrator. Right now I'm the administrator, but somebody else can be the administrator of it as well.
Can there only be one administrator, or can there be multiple?
I believe it's only one administrator.
Okay.
At a time. So each week, if somebody were to if you guys were to create like a sign up sheet, Aaron, and everybody would commit to a particular day or week, you could then just assign them administrator rights for that day.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, I have no problem being an administrator, because basically I'm just letting people in. But you know, we can just start rooms for people. Anybody can start a room. So in on it. So it's not a problem. I'm just letting you know that anybody can be the administrator on it. I mean, I don't have a problem doing it. It's not that hard to do it. Just let people in, and then if somebody wants to start a room, they can start a room easily. So
hey Vinky,
Yes,
did you find it yet?
find one.
The GOB on Clubhouse?
Yes, I am member of the clubhouse. Yeah, I mean on the GOB.
He's talking
How
about-
did you find it? Did you use Aaron's name, or did you use just GOB
No,
or GOB network, or what did you have to do?
So what I did was I just found the GOB network. So you can do the search like this in the search bar, put GOB network and it comes. And when I click on it,
was it one word, or did you separate GOB and network?
no, GOB network, two different words.
Two different words?
Yeah, two words.
Okay,
GOB
so I'm gonna
slash-
post that. I'm gonna post that right now in the general channel for everyone. It's live. Please go join.
Right, put some right there.
So they have to find it as a club, not as people. So mention that too.
Right.
I'm sorry, say again.
So there's two tabs when you go into the search. One tab says people, the other tab is clubs. So when they're typing in the search bar GOB network, they have to click on the clubs tab. So the club name will show up.
In the search bar, choose clubs.
Yeah, in the search bar, underneath the search bar, there are two tabs, people and clubs. So you choose clubs. So Aaron, you have more people in the club now. It's 10 now.
Right.
You were saying
Right.
that's like, now we have more.
Yeah, we got 10 people in the club so far. So Vinky, you can always do, hey, you can do this too. You can start your own room before your webinar,
Uh-huh.
and just funnel people into from the clubhouse to webinar, or like I do, you can have an after party. You can just put on Clubhouse. So after your webinar or meetup, you can just put people on Clubhouse with you and start your own room too.
Yeah, that would be really good. I'm open to either one. I don't mind. And I don't mind helping you moderate too. So I do every other Friday, so every other Friday should work for me anyways.
Yeah. So if anybody wants to start a room, you got to let me know, because I can open up to everybody. So you can only do a club. You can only open a room to members only. The administrator has to open up for everybody. So if you want to start a room, I got to open up for everybody to attend.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. So I'm just letting everybody know that once you start a room, I gotta open up for everybody. If not, it's only for limited to GOB members who sign up for Clubhouse.
No, it should be for everybody, right?
No. When you because you're part of a club, you can only start a room and only allow club members in there. The administrator can open up for everybody to attend.
Oh, okay.
That's why I say I just need to know what time, if you're gonna start a room, let me know, and I can open up for everybody to attend instead of just GOB members to attend.
I think that's what the point is, right? Open it to everybody so people can ping and add more people, ping other people to join. So
Right,
that
right.
way more people can come and we have a bigger audience. Not
Right.
necessarily we're trying to grow the GOB audience. We have a lot of people, but it's just like making more connections so we can find more passive investors.
Right, absolutely. So all you gotta do is just ping me or somebody, or just text me, or say, hey, I want to start a room. Okay, boom, I'll open up for everyone. Because I
You
had to
said
do,
only one person can be the administrator, or can you add another administrator too in there?
I don't think you can add another administrator.
Because you started that, the group, yeah.
Yeah, I
And
don't think you started. Yeah, since I started, I
Yeah.
don't think you add another administrator
I
to it.
don't, see, I'm not that intelligent about Clubhouse, so I'm not sure, you know, if any of the moderators can open it to everybody, or know if the administrator has to do that. I have no clue. We have to play with it to understand what it is.
Right. And I also got to I got to also have club rules. I got to put that as well. So that's something I got to do is look at other
Yeah.
clubs, see how they do it, and make club rules for us.
Yeah,
Um, yeah. So there's a couple things I need to do, but yeah. So I would love for it to start a room pretty soon.
that's good.
I'll let you
All
guys
right, so
go.
I just posted it in Slack. We'll see if you get any new signups here today. So
Where'd you post it? Okay, I see
in
it.
the general channel.
The Slack.
Mhm.
And then I also hashtag the Clubhouse channel so that people know that it's there if they want to join it.
All right. Well, thank you, Jim. And
All right, guys.
hope you
So
have a-
Jim, I have something for you. Jim, I send you an email.
you guys go.
So
Yell
you
at
can,
me.
Okay.
Jim, you
Bye,
can
guys.
stop the recording. Bye, everybody.
All right, take care, guys.
All right, see you.